I can't believe I'm having to address this again. I made a video about this subject over 2 years ago when the first videos started coming out about it, but thanks to some people, Birdie, it has reared its ugly head again. So, time to debunk it again. And this was about the College Hill Pullman police show that's kind of like Cops, where they had body cam footage from a fight at a fraternity on Greek Row at WSU on the early morning of November 13th, 2022. And people like to say that it was Kohberger in the video, but it's not.
What's her name? Oh. Titties! Titties! Yeah, that's what it is!
Weren't you in my, and it bleeps out the program, and I think he uses a three-letter acronym, CHB program, which would stand for College Hill Beat, which essentially is they bring in students to kind of patrol their campus. And I think it makes sense that Brian might be in that program. Now that there maybe is other programs, it could be rug related, whatever. But if this is what he's doing because he didn't get an internship and he still wanted to immerse himself working with police, this is where kind of the whole informant is he, working with them. But I'll let the video play and I'll shut up and we can talk about it.
Yeah, and real quick, Bertie, with a little bit more context, this party was not invited. I believe perhaps he was, I don't want to say a neighborhood surveillance, but he was part of that program watching.
So, yeah, I believe he was too. So I did some digging on that program. We actually went back. I believe Officer Willis started it, and it's known as the College Hill Beat. It's still up on, there's a Facebook post about it. There's a whole article actually written up about how Officer Willis was the police officer of the year for Pullman that previous year. And that's what he started. So.
Well, no, here's the Facebook post when he got officer of the year. And he did not start the College Hill beat. That has been a beat since I can remember. There was a College Hill officer when I was there. And his responsibility is patrolling College Hill, Greek Row, and he does the programming with the fraternities and the sororities. So that means he goes to their houses and they have meetings. Everybody in the fraternity or the sorority has to attend, and they do presentations on alcohol, like drinking and driving and drugs and getting in fights and just basically how to not be an idiot college student. He also his program doesn't per se have cadets. The Pullman Police Department does have student interns. Now, those interns are generally undergrads because the spots are for people that are going into law enforcement usually. And then some of the other interns are people that are wanting to do like criminal justice and office work. So you'll see members of the dance team be interns with the Pullman Police Department also. But it would be very rare for a master's student or a PhD student to get one of those spots.
So let's listen to this. Let's see if we can hear Kohberger's voice. Because this is huge. This is unbelievable. If he's out and about with the student population this night and you hear him interacting with cops.
Are you in? Okay. Were you in my program last week? Officer Willis? Yep. What did I tell you in that program?
Okay, so that was not Kohberger. He was not the fraternity member that they had over there at the cop car. And he asked him, "Are you in?" And then they kind of bleated it out, but that was which fraternity. He was asking him which fraternity he was in. So then he was like, "Were you in my program?" And that was because he probably was just doing a program at that fraternity house a week or two before that. And let me show you the Facebook, or not Facebook page, but the Instagram page that the College Hill officers have. And it's not Willits anymore. It's another officer now that's doing the College Hill beat. But that person still does all the programming because that's just how that role works. So here's the Instagram page they have set up for the College Hill officer, and it's now Jared Auberton. Willis is just on regular City of Pullman patrol. And this post was just an example of when they go to the fraternity for the programming. So it says, back to the program, starting off at Phi Kappa Sigma. And that's what the College Hill officer does a lot of times. They do that outreach and do that safety programming.
We talked about if he's in a Pullman Police Department program, whether it's Ruggs, whether it's what we suspect it is of the College Hill beat, that should be known.
Absolutely. And we've talked about this before, that, I have a video up of the chief of police basically saying, when the question was asked if Kohberger worked for the department, he could not specifically answer without advising the attorneys first.
I wish I could find that video.
Because it's in my videos. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Because the chief of police was very clear. He was like, oh, shit.
Yep. And the question was like, does Brian Kohberger, it was something along the lines of, does Brian Kohberger work for you guys? And he goes, I cannot answer that without our attorney present. Now, there's only one reason you would say that. And it's because the police department, I don't think that it's just because he applied for an internship and they're saying they can't answer it. I think he's in a program or they know him from something. That's the only thing. Because if it was just no, you could just be like, no, I have no record of it.
It's a liability.
Okay, I would love to see that video because I don't remember Gary Jenkins doing a press conference and saying that he'd have to talk to lawyers first before discussing Kohberger. Now, I do know that in a FOIA request, the Independent then followed up with Jenkins about whether Kohberger had got the assistantship, and Jenkins had been asked not to talk about it by the university. So that's what he told the Independent. But the other thing is, we know he didn't get the assistantship because the WSU spokesperson did later let it slip that Kohberger did not have access to the complex social interaction lab. And if he had gotten the assistantship, he would have been running that lab. So because he had no access to the lab, we can infer he didn't get the assistantship, and also because he was working as a TA. Because the assistantship in the CSI lab would have taken the place of doing a teaching assistantship. Because for the PhD program, you have to be either doing research or being a TA. So it would be one or the other. You wouldn't be doing both. So we know just based on him being a TA that he also didn't get it. And then also WSU later did post the names of the two women that received the two assistantship spots. And so Kohberger did not receive it. I just can't believe people keep dragging this stuff up after 2 years. I think they're getting bored because it's a slow process getting to trial. So people's imaginations are getting the best of them, and then they just want to rehash things. But yeah, it's definitely not Kohberger in that body cam footage at the fraternity fight.
Confirm he was in some type of program.
And I just wanted to show you that last little clip so that you can see Birdie's dumb fuckery with AI again. And of course, it's got Phoenix going, oh, that confirms Kohberger was in some type of program. Because he manipulated the AI to get it to look like somebody that looked like Kohberger was sitting there.